Napoleon, though, was somebody who was known in war for being somebody who used incredible speed and gutsy strikes at the very center of the enemy's line. As I mentioned to you already, he was known for his exact and precise calculations. He was also known for his incredible and sometimes irresponsible use of both animals in war as well as soldiers. In fact, there have been some writing about the horses that Napoleon used and the horses that died during his campaigns. In fact, by the end of his days at Waterloo, there were very few horses of the proper quality and caliber for warfare available because Napoleon's wars had cost the deaths of so many of them. It was also said that he was willing to sacrifice 1,000,000 men in battle in order to secure victory. It was said, actually, in fact, he lost some 50,000 a year to Wellington throughout Iberia, where Spain and Portugal are, whereas Wellington of the British only lost about 6,000 a year. This was the war of attrition, where Napoleon thought, well, I have so many men at my disposal, eventually we'll overcome the British. But Wellington operated very differently. In fact, Wellington commented about this, saying that if he ever lost even 500 soldiers without absolute necessity, that he would be dragged on his knees into the House of Commons of Parliament to face accountability. But Napoleon had no accountability. He was popular with his soldiers and with his men because he risked his own life, because he won most of the time, and he let them pillage. And any of them who showed similar ideals to himself, who showed similar gutsy and courageous and often risky action in battle that worked, because if it didn't work, they usually were killed, he promoted them as quickly as he possibly could. Like Washington, he was also known for walking amongst his men. He would visit them in their camps. He would joke with them. He would learn to talk like them because he himself had come from a more common family like they had. He also would say simple things to them to inspire them, such as, "Soldiers, I expect you to fight hard today," or "Soldiers, be brave, be resolute," or "Soldiers, make me proud of you." In other words, he was kind of like an overbearing father in some ways, and they looked up to him in that same regard.